What led to the decision to get Lucas on IR? Was there a possibility to come back before then? Or?
It sounds like it's going to be around that time frame, so we'll just put him on IR and then go from there.
So not going to be season-ending, you would imagine?
No.
You spoke highly of Liam Cohen last year. He now has a shot in Jacksonville. Just your thoughts on what they did in week 1?
Yeah, good job. I mean, getting that first win. I mean, sometimes they make you wait till December to get that. So, for Liam to clear it out is good, for their well-being. But, now it's our opponent, so we're focused on making them unhappy this week.
What is the background of your relationship with Liam? When did you first meet him?
I was aware of him before I met him. I was at University of Cincinnati. We were getting ready to play somebody, and they were playing Maine. The tape was Maine's offense versus whoever we were playing, UConn or Temple or whoever it was, and it was a really well-coordinated offense. And so I looked up who the coaches were, and the coordinator was a guy named Liam Cohen. Played for a national championship at UMass, quarterback, so I could see all the traits there. And fast forward a couple years later, I was in LA, and I was moving from assistant receivers to quarterbacks, so we needed someone to fill my job. Shane Waldron recommended a guy that he'd worked with at UMass named Liam Cohen, and so I jumped on that. When I heard the name, I said, "That's I don't know him, but if your tape's your resume, he's pretty dang good." So we interviewed him, hired him, worked with him for a year, and then we've just stayed in touch ever since.
How do you know if an offense is good, well coordinated on tape, if you've never
Well, I mean, they know what they're doing. It's the way they attack the defense, the way all 11 operate. I remember, I think Maine at the time they were under center and running West Coast elements that I'd been taught with a quarterback that was performing really well. So you could just, enough for me to look up and say, who is this? And so that was the first time his name was on my radar.
What's the biggest message for the team, biggest point of emphasis coming off last week going into this week for you?
Well, the turnover battle, number one, is so critical. To go 2-0. Jacksonville leads the league right now in that margin. They're first. We're tied for second. So I think that goes a long way in deciding these early season games, is the discipline aspect of all this stuff. And we're excited to be at home. To be 1-0 and come home, and I know our fans are juiced up, and so I know these guys, that's going to be a big part of this game too, is using the home field advantage to our advantage there.
What's Burrow like after a week where maybe the offense isn't as good as y'all want it to be? What's he like in the week leading up to the next game?
He's focused on winning, and so I think for all of us to get that first win, knowing how things have gone previously, thankful to get that opportunity, but also self-critical enough for all of us we got to be better in the second half there to be able to put more points on the board. To help our team, and so I think none of us run from that.
What's it like preparing for Travis Hunter?
He's a really good talent. He's didn't play a ton on defense, played mostly on offense. He's got great quickness. I think he's got really top-notch hands in terms of the balls he's able to catch. Not easy to bring down. You can see the breakaway element to him. He almost kind of got away with one in the last game where you could see he's got that element to break it away and make it a big play. And you saw that on his tape from Colorado. So a guy with a lot of confidence. You always felt the confidence to be able to play two positions, and they'll keep, I'm sure, integrating him however they want to.
Talked to Al about Cam on Monday, and he said that Cam was the first guy to come up to him and say he'd like to have some of those things back. Is what you saw from Cam in training camp in terms of the things that you wanted him to get better at, did you see that consistently enough so the things that didn't go right against the Browns, you don't feel like it will spiral?
Yeah, I did. That now it's just you got to prove it. You got to prove that it's going to be consistent during the season. But I thought Cam had a good training camp, and we got a lot of confidence in him. Some of the plays were not his best plays in the game the other day, and so again, I see better than I hear. So just show us that you're going to improve on that, and I trust that he will.
How did you see DJ Turner improve kind of from the first day of training camp to the end, and obviously having confidence in him on Sunday?
Always competitive. He had a small setback there for about a week and a half at the end of camp, but now he's back fully healthy and performing well and earning opportunity. And again, goes out there on the field and game and just does what we want him to do. And so proud of him for the way that he responded to that and accumulated more reps for himself and proved that he deserves to be out there.
After a bit of a slow start to camp, do you feel like that day where he had 20 pass breakups was kind of big for him to get going?
Yeah, that's I think nowadays it feels like training camp is just there for the negatives, and it's less about for us internally, it's just building. It's building, and we're going to get exposed scheme-wise. We're going to get exposed personnel-wise. That's part of training camp as you get your feet underneath you. And then the key is just getting ready for the first week of the season. That's our main goal. But it just feels like so much now it's targeted towards all the bad things that are happening, when in reality that's part of the growth process for everybody. So some of those times are matchups. When you match up versus T and Jamar, that's going to be a tough training camp. And so I was really proud of the way that DJ has just competed, and you're getting the best version of him, and that's awesome to see. And I think all of our DBs continue to grow from that, and training camp's good for all of us.
One of the DBs was Jordan Battle was very noticeable in his impact on Sunday. Is that part of the scheme change with the new defensive coordinator, or is that just his development as a player?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think it's just the growth in this league. I just saw him playing really fast as an open field tackler, as a communicator. That's what I felt from Jordan. And so the energy that we see all the time off the field, you really felt that on the field. And I was happy to see that, because we're going to need that. And again, Jordan's a guy who's got the leadership qualities, and he's got the play to back that up as well.
The end picture was telling us, Zac, that don't read too much into usage in terms of it turning into trends offensively. How much do you have to keep that in mind as a head coach, that, I'm just going to focus on what the game plan dictates as opposed to trying to get guys worked in?
Well, it's all of it. It's all. Every opponent we're going to face is going to be a little bit of a different tweaked plan for us. We have our bread and butters that we're always going to subscribe to, but at the same time, we're going to attack the defense as we think is best to attack it. And so that could be different usage for different guys. There is a balance. We have great players. I want them to be involved. And so you're always trying to find ways to make sure they're involved. The ball might not go their way based on the coverage, based on what gets called off the sheet, based on a lot of different things, but you try to have an intent to involve guys as best you can.
What did you make of Demetrius Knight's debut?
I thought he played fast as well. I thought he did a really nice job tackling, which is critical, I think, for a rookie in their first real game, and all the energy and excitement that goes with that. I thought that obviously there's some things I think you're going to point to every player on a team that could do a little bit better, but I was really excited to see the element of calmness that he and a lot of the rookies played with.
It seems he really enjoys tackling. Did that come up on tape when he went through the
I just think he enjoys football. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's married, he's got kids, like he understands this is more than just a game. This is a way of life for him, and he's kind of had to have that on his shoulders every step of his career. And so you see a guy that approaches his job that way, like he's trying to feed his family, and that's the play style you see when he's out there, and he's genuine. He loves doing it. It feeds, I think the rest of the team feeds off of that. I feed off of that, and so again, he's doing it for all the right reasons, and you're getting his best.
What does Trevor want to do really well?
Well, I think he's got a tremendous arm. He can be very accurate. He can process. He can make plays with his feet. So Jacksonville historically has always been an explosive team. They've always had a great speed element to it. They've had explosive backs, and then he's back there operating the whole thing. And so I've watched Jacksonville a lot over the years, seen Trevor when he's at his best. Thought he played well in the first game. And so, again, he's a very difficult quarterback to play against in this league.
I wonder what your thoughts were on the special team in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Had some young kids playing.
Yep.
Seemed to come up rather.
There was a lot of great things that happened in special teams. I think, you just take the clip of Taj's tackle on the kickoff play. Just the leverage everybody was playing with across the board, and that's DJ Ivey playing with great leverage, and Warren, and there was a bunch of guys on that clip that allowed for Taj to do what he needed to do. But then just the punt protection. Tyson Anderson is the PP, and the punt protection on the final punt, the plus 50 to pin him on the one. PJ Jules has not played a lot of gunner for us to get it down there. So just the extra point, the PATs and the field goals, converting for us. There's a lot of things to like there, and I'm excited for those guys to continue to improve and really be an element that helps us win games.
That punt in the dog pound was kind of punting out of the dog pound that was wagged.
Yeah.
Like wagged the held up.
Yep. Yeah. Again, yes, a lot of situations that came up for us that I thought we executed very well. The backed up punt's tough when we're backed in there on the 2-yard line or wherever it was, and then the game ceiling plus 50 to put it on the one. So there was a lot of things that I think those guys really stepped up to help us win that game.
You referenced the home opener earlier. What are you looking for from Bengals fans?
Yeah, here's exactly what I'm looking for. I know how loud we're going to be, and so let's do it early. Let's show them right out the gate. I think when Sam Hubbard is up there as the ruler of the jungle, every seat is packed. And I'd love to look up, I'm just asking for one game, a 10-minute sacrifice from the parking lot. And so that might just mean getting up 10 minutes earlier and getting to the stadium 10 minutes earlier than you normally would. And so do whatever you want in those extra 10, and then that extra 10 getting in the stadium. And so when Sam's the ruler, I'm kind of looking up at that escalator that's to my right, and it's blank, and maybe people just appease me and stand at the bottom so I can't see as he's up there. But I would love to hear that. Just week one, the rest of them you can tailgate a little extra longer. But I think for this first one, it'd be awesome just to send the message to the team. We got to do our best to start 2-0. And for all the great things that we want to do this year, it starts with playing great at home. And that's a collective effort from our players, our coaches, our fan base. And so I'm excited to set off 2025 the right way at home. And orange, we're oranged out, and the jerseys look great, and our guys will be fired up.
Is that something you keep track of during the sideline?
What's that?
Do you keep track of who's on the escalator pregame?
No, that's just my line of sight. As I look at the ruler of the jungle, I can see right above, and I see an escalator.
Do you keep track of how loud the atmosphere is? Kickoff, like when you get in, like the vibes, like seriously, like is that something that you know?
No.
Okay.
But in this game, I'm going to. So that's one time for me. Usually I'm talking about the first call and hash and all the other things that are the distances and all that kind of stuff. But for this game, for 1 second, I'm going to look up there and see everybody in their seats.
What do you think about when you see Sam up there? When you see Sam?
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I knew at some point that would happen, and it happened right out the gate. And so a lot of great memories with him. So I think it's pretty neat to see him up there.
How aware?
I'll come back to you soon.
Talk about what you've seen in terms of progress from Trevor from maybe a couple of years ago now. What is he doing better at this stage of his game?
Trevor Lawrence. I just think he's always shown capabilities to play at a really high level. And so he's a really difficult task for a quarterback. From watching his days in college, playing the T and all those guys. And so again, we got our work cut out for us with this team.
Come along those lines, and then as a sorry,
yeah, you stole it.
She didn't cut me off. Yeah. If this is a game of number one overall picks, and as an offensive coach who's a play caller as well, when you have a guy that's talented as a quarterback, what's the best thing you can do as a coach to nurture that talent to make sure they maximize their potential at the end? Like at the end of the day,
have a great team around them, obviously, and you give them weapons, and they got a lot of weapons. They got a really good defense. I think these guys play well. They've drafted over there these last couple of years, and coordinator's done a great job with them. So overall, it's a good team, and we got our work cut out for us. James,
how aware, with all the talk about the hot start and starting fast, how aware are you of your week 2 record?
Zero awareness.
I figured. What would it mean to win? It would be your first win in week 2 since becoming head coach.
Yeah, I just want to be 2-0. I know I haven't been 2-0 since I've been here. That I can tell you. So. But again, it's not that part doesn't matter. Our team just each week has focused on really simple things, starting with week 1, and it's the same focus for week 2. And so, big picture wise, that doesn't concern us. What concerns us is starting out 1-0 at home, and then that puts us our best foot forward to do all the things we want to do in our division and so on. So, we just keep it a lot simpler than the things that are probably more fun to talk about, but. In our rooms, it's as simple as that.
It became a thing at the end of last year to send Joe, Jamar, and T out for the coin toss. He did it again on Sunday in Cleveland. It feels like a small thing, but is it? Is that something you think about, or just going to ride it?
I've worn the blue jacket that I have on every road game since we've been winning, so I'm going to keep wearing it. It's got all my kids' names in it, and I'm going to keep sending Joe, Jamar, and T out there until I decide that that's not what's best for us.
Is there anything else you've done down the street?
Nope, that's it. Those 2 things.
Joseph Osai came close to getting to the quarterback a couple times on Sunday. What'd you think of his performance?
I think that there's a lot of things that we're really going to continue to like about Joseph. And I think the rush inside on the one, the primary one you're talking about that JB picked the ball off, causing Joe to push up and maybe not put it exactly where we wanted with his accuracy because Osai was right there. If he didn't hit it, he almost did. And so, again, I think that you're going to just continue to see the best from all these D linemen. We got some good depth right now. And so we're going to have fun being able to utilize these guys in a lot of different ways and keep them fresh and out there, and so that they can affect the defense in a lot of different ways. And I love Joseph's energy. That's what you feel from Joseph when he's out there, his energy. You can use him a lot of different ways, and he's open to all that and really eager to make an impact for our defense.
To that point, Zach, you brought in 2 more defensive ends yesterday, practice squad. Why is that so important in terms of building depth there?
Well, multiple reasons. These are always guys. We don't just bring in people just for the heck of it. We're bringing in people for needs we have, whether it be practice, but these are guys that we had some regard for in the draft, and so for 2 guys to be available that we've liked, we've always been aware of, and so for the opportunity to come in and evaluate them and see how they can help us is exciting. They had a great workout. They're really good people. They fit in the locker room really well. We got people that know them. So we're just excited to get them out there at practice and see if at some point they can help us, as an elevation on the 53, and in the short term, help us get great looks in practice, because I know that our scout teams did an excellent job last week in preparing the units that are going to play in the game.